This is the Global Digest think tank group. What's exactly your area and what is your interest area? What's your background?
I have worked with like in different states of India, like in Madhya Pradesh, in Bombay, in Patna, and like other states also. So my area of expert, so basically I'm a social worker, criminal justice social worker. So I have been working with the minority groups and vulnerable groups of women and children around Madhya Pradesh and other states. And recently, in like I have worked in Patna for the for this carceral incarcerated population, where I was leading this program for mental health inside the prisons for the prison population. So there, my work revolved around talking to them, like identifying, basically taking awareness sessions for them, and then identifying uh, persons who are or inmates who are suffering from mental health issues inside the prison, and then how then I used to intervene on those cases. I used to take up those cases, and then we used to do their home visits for that is called fact finding in our social work language. Then we used to do home visits for them, and then we used to provide interim treatment for them, which can be possible inside the prison. So yeah, that is what I've been doing around for like two years now.
Let's see.
I'm a lawyer. Like I did my graduation in from law, then I practiced for 1 year. I have my this thing license and everything. Then I switched to social work, criminology and justice, because I wanted to work for the vulnerable, like in the for the communities and like people around that, not in the courts and all.
This is so social works mean it's far away from the court or any advocate prosecution office, something like that.
Basically, for the cases which are against the state, like the heinous crimes like murder and rape and everything, for that we call the advocate as a prosecutor. But in other cases, it's generally advocate only.
Let's see. What kind of cases mostly you have done?
Okay, so if I talk solely about Bihar, so Bihar is a state where this caste discrimination exists at a very high level, right? Because there are a lot of people who are Dalits and they are being marginalized because by the upper caste, so-called upper caste groups and all. So my work basically when I worked with mostly these people because they were the most disadvantaged group of Bihar. They were the most marginalized, they were the most vulnerable, and they were also very soft target to put inside the jail. So that is why, like, in when I used to go to these jails and correction centers, we used to find a lot of population there belonging to these SC/ST quota, like SC and STs and Dalits and like marginalized communities. And when we used to talk to them, they had like very not very heinous crimes on their record. They were very petty. They were very petty crimes like theft or not even robbery, theft and petty crimes such as uh, getting like
It's
getting something
not
from the
not big.
railway
It's
station.
not a big
No,
case,
no,
just a
no,
minor.
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. All the cases which I worked for were very like minor cases, but they were repeatedly the offenders were repeated after like when we used to help them and like they used to get bail and everything, they used to get acquitted. Again, after 1 year, I'm seeing the same person behind the bars because the vicious circle and the practice of recidivism also comes from the marginalization. That is what I think. Like these people are being marginalized and they are very easy target for the police to capture. So police does not want to indulge in against the stronger power who might be there. There is a whole racket of this thing theft and the illegal liquor, this thing, excise, the racket of excise, which because in Bihar, alcohol is banned totally. Like consumption and selling and producing alcohol, everything is banned. But people still uh, So these people get into jail because they caught they maybe have got drunk by the policeman. And sir, these all these petty crimes have the total, if you see, the total of the punishment for these crimes are not more than 3 years. But these people are in being in jail for like 6 years or 7 years for these petty crimes, because their trial has not even being like admitted, or not, they haven't been called to the court yet. So 3 years to 7 years. And if the person, if the same crime has done by the person who is in power, or who is more privileged than these people, they might get out within six months only, or within a month. But because these people are from marginalized group, they don't have any access to justice, legal services, or anything. Like, they don't have money to give to the policemen. They just spend their half of their lives, like more of their punishment sentence, inside the prisons. So this
Right.
is these cases we usually take up, and we used to work with these people.
It's unfair, right? It's unfair
Yeah.
process.
People from so-called upper caste are involved, then they you can say that there is a possibility of these arrests.
You see, so you can categorize those arrests as based on discrimination against minority or marginalized people, and also corruption of the officer, police officer, or prison officer, mismanagement, and wrongfully or unfairly arresting people. As you point out, they are minor cases. It seems they are filing like big crime, but it is uh, a minor case. Do you see what exactly in the document? How did they file?
So basically, sometimes it also happens that if a person has come from another state and into Bihar, like suppose he is coming from Madhya Pradesh or any other state to Bihar, and he has consumed alcohol on the way, and he has reached Bihar, and somehow the police people has caught him and has arrested him. They will not charge him with the it's not just about if you're coming from another state. If you're found also inside, if you're from that
I
community or
see the
vulnerable.
question. So
No.
other state who used to drink alcohol, they came to Bihar. Maybe they don't know Bihar regulation. Probably they drunk. So because of that drunk, police arrest them, or they did not give any warning, or they did not mention the regulation of Bihar.
Yeah, so if suppose if a person from a privileged background is caught drunk there, they can get away with it because they will say that I didn't know the law about Bihar, and they will be excused. But a person who is suppose a daily wage worker is caught drunk inside Bihar, then they will not only be charged with the drinking case, but they will also be charged under the Excise Act, which is the act that bans alcohol in Bihar, and they will be charged with smuggling of this thing, alcohol. That this person was caught smuggling with this much liter of alcohol, and they were smuggling from one place to another. Which the case will the case was already there with the police person, but they wanted to, just because they want to frame someone who is not very educated, who is not very resourceful. They want so they will put the case on that poor person, because these smugglings and everything, these things are not done by the underprivileged or the people who are very uneducated or does not have any resources. These cases are done mostly by the privileged ones who has the power. So but
Right.
the police will not arrest the privileged person, because they are the higher, they are the bigger power. So they will frame someone else who's caught drunk, and they will put that case on him. So this is what generally happens, and it's not like Bihar has banned alcohol in every way, like the consumption, production, and smuggling and everything. But everyone in Bihar still drinks.
Is
It's
it?
not like people, yeah. Even the rich person will also drink, the middle class will also drink, and the poor will also drink. But they will only frame the poor people. They will not go to the rich persons. I have lived in Bihar for like 1 year, and I have seen people from my society only getting home deliveries of alcohol. So this is the condition, sir. So this and the
So
Bihar, the
what
liquor ban, yeah,
case file in the court? Do you know exactly the file name?
it's under they comes under it comes under excise.
Each mean a criminal code. What kind of criminal code they put there?
Sessions court. Yeah, session trial court only, they have their trial first, and the Excise Act comes under the criminal this thing. So
I
they go to
mean,
the trial court. It's under the excise, it's not the petty crime, but it comes generally under the equivalent to smuggling of
I see.
drugs.
Each
And yeah.
police file at the court like
So
smug
if
case, criminal case, but
yeah,
they just drink. The
yes, yes,
individual drink without knowing, and they have the alcohol for their own uh, drinking purpose, right? They are not selling or business. They are not doing alcohol business, but they have their own. But police find it as the smuggling drug or alcohol. It is a
yes,
big crime. It's made bigger crime,
yes,
exaggerating the case. Can you say that?
yes, yes,
Other privileged people and who are in power, they did not fight them, and they did not.
yeah.
They
They
just
are they are they are
allow them.
unaffected from all these.
I see.
So basically, in India, particularly in Bihar, there are a lot of cases related to minor sexual assault or harassment, or like it comes under POCSO. POCSO is, if you know, POCSO is protection of children from sexual offenses. It's an act from in India as per Indian law. So most of the cases which I have dealt with were from the villages, these uh, these small villages around Bihar. So I had like two, three cases from different villages around Bihar where a neighbor sexually assaulted like one 11-year-old and one 8-year-old. So all these cases exist in Bihar like very easy. Not even in Bihar, sir. It's there in like all over the India. Even in my state, like there is a recent case where where a 11-year-old girl has been raped in Pithoragarh, which is one of the hilly districts of Uttarakhand. So right now there are protests are going on and everything, but uh, like I think protests are leading us nowhere. Like in these
So
cases, they are not leading us anywhere.
what is Indian law?
But life imprisonment, and the case has to be resolved in within 1 year. Like from the date one submits the FIR, from that time to within 6 months, within the 6 months period, the police have to file the charge sheet and submit the charge sheet inside the court, and within 1 year the court has to be disposed of like uh so these kind of cases happen in a fast track manner. Like court does not wait for, like they don't give longer dates and everything. They just want to finish it for that 1 year period, because they want to protect the identity and the dignity of the child and their family. So that is why this fast track thing is there on papers. By law it should be happening like that, but in reality it does not happen. In reality, people and families, like the victims and survivors, wait for 5 to 10, even 10 years for the for justice. I had one case where the survivor was not like, she was not very like mentally fit. She was having some problems since she was born, and then she was not like, there was no father, and like the mother and the child was only there, and the child got sexually assaulted and harassed or raped when she was like 5 or 6 years, and now she is 18 years. And her mother was like, when I was working in Bihar, that lady approached me and she told me her story, that I have been like fighting the court since like last 11 years, and there's nothing good that has come out from, and that people, even the advocates, are not taking up her case, because it's very the power, like the opposition party, like the opposite party is very powerful, and they are not letting her go anywhere, and she is very like underprivileged, and she doesn't have a lot of resources. She has to earn for herself and her daughter, and take care of her daughter as well. So all these things are like, she feels now stuck in the system, and she's not able to get justice for her daughter. So that was very saddening to see, like like cases like these are still here when the law is very strong for these kind of cases. Still there are cases like this.
I see.
So there are many cases under POCSO only, which comes like if for the love affairs that happens in the teenagers. Okay, so the between teenagers, it's all both are consenting teenagers, and they are not even like major, they are minor only, they are under 18. But if the parents got to know about it, even though there is consent between the two of the children of being in a relationship, say, or whatever the friendship, but sometimes that happens, not sometimes, a lot of time that happens is the family of the girl, they will file a POCSO complaint against the boy who is also a minor. So these kind of clashes are very prominent in this POCSO law and POCSO cases. So the Supreme Court has also like gave some judgments against it, that if both the children are consenting, then you cannot file a complaint against the boy, because boy is also a minor, right? He was also in a relationship with that girl. He has not done anything. Just because there is a law that says all this, so the family of the girl puts the charges on the boy, and then the boy's whole life is destroyed. So these kind of loopholes which people take out from the law, these has to be kept in mind while tackling a case, or like for the judges to like while seeing a case. So the consent thing does not come from the parents. It comes from the individual only. It's not like, because in India a lot of child marriages used to happen, where this thing, families consented two children to get married, and then they used to stay together, and in between that, if something happens to the girl or the boy, and if there is not the consent is not there, they will not be very much the families will not be punishable for this, but they should be. Like, there should be a provision also which stand against the families like who force their children to get together when they're minor, because child marriages maybe on papers have removed, like it has demolished, but the practice is still there.
I see.
Filing a complaint where two minors are consenting and being in a relationship, is it right or wrong? So that is why like there are judgments where Supreme Court has told the parties that this is when they have found out that these both are the consenting minors, then they have given the judgment. But on papers the law does not say that if the boy is 17 and the girl is also 17 or even 16, they cannot get involved with each other. And so it's not on paper, it's only on the discussion right now. They are taking the loophole from the law, but there should be like the consent part is very not explained very clearly in the law. So that is why there is this discussion is happening, because in a lot of cases this happens when, even when the both are consenting minors, people from one family will, especially from the girl's family, they will put the charge of rape or anything like that on the boy who is also a minor. So these kind of cases are happening in India, but these kind of cases should not come under POCSO. They should have a different law or a different procedure to deal all these cases, and I don't think so. These kind of cases should be there, because like if I have a daughter and my daughter is in a relationship with someone, I will not go to the police station to complain against that boy, right? But a lot of families does not understand this, because the boy's life is also getting involved in it. He will get punished as a juvenile. He will be called up, he will be called a child with in conflict with law. So his whole life he has that tag on his this thing, whether or not he has done anything or not, it doesn't matter. If that tag is there and the complaint has been raised from the girl's family, that boy's life is gone. So that is the moral issue that is coming under this law. So most of the courts have now are now very diligent, and like they do a very like a lot of due diligence before taking up the case. Before, like when the case comes to them, they take charge of getting the facts like right.
I
So
see.
that is there. It's a good thing that now this change has been coming, but a lot of cases are still there where like consenting minors has eloped, or like because of family pressure and everything, and then the family has put in the charge of rape and this thing on the boy. uh, like I have met juveniles in the district court. That is not a place for them, but they were still in the district court, sorry, district jail. So I have met people, like boys, when I used to go for sessions, taking sessions and awareness sessions. So I used to identify boys who were looking very young and does not belong to the other population of with the other inmates and this thing. So I used to talk to them and I used to ask their age. And a lot of times their age were like 15 to 17, like lingering between 15 to 17, and they were in the adult jail. So for children who are below 18, they have a separate institution. Those are called correctional homes, and they are not supposed to be put in jail. That is why there are correctional homes. But in India, it does nobody follows these rules, like right, like because they are from underprivileged background, and they had this thing. So one boy, I had met two or three boys who had like eloped with their lovers, and they were also minors. That the girl was also minor, and this case only happened that they told me that the girl's side to put charges on them for rape and this molestation and everything, and then they ended up in jail because they don't have any resources to like save them, and they don't have any privileges, or they don't have money to give to bribe the policeman or anything like that, which a privileged person would have done to get out of jail. So they are just lingering around the jail, and also in adult jail. That was the very serious issue for me, especially because juveniles are not supposed to be treated as convicts or as adult this thing wrongdoers. They are not the wrongdoers. They are just you have to correct them. That is why there are correctional homes and shelters for them. So that was the very main prominent issues.
You see, as you said, common sense, it should not happen, right? In
Yeah.
common sense, those teenage both consent, both agreement, it should not be. But can you say because of those minor or marginalized population background, marginalized like minority, if the boys or the girls, um, they can get more complaint and police or the court, they easily is vulnerable to arrest them and put them put them even in prison. You said they're supposed to be at the correction shelter, right? Those all the children, minor people, but they put into prison, something like that. So there are
Yes,
many, you can say, unfair treatment or unjust system,
yes,
especially
yes,
to the uh, marginalized people, right?
yes, yes,
And those cases, I mean, the legal system, as you mentioned, it's for the whole, all India, it's applicable, or is their legal system different in state-wise? Each state may has different, or in India, all are the same. Every state has the same legal system because I see each state has maybe different culture and different ethnicity. So, how can you say about Indian legal system?
so the penal laws, which are the criminal laws basically, applies to whole of the India as one. But there are different laws such as like property law, say, and say trust act. Like there are some civil laws which are different in different states. So the state for civil laws only, the state has the power to they can propose their own state law. Like we have this Bihar Excise Act, and there is a Bihar Prison Manual, and there is Bombay. Some acts are from typically from Bombay. They are made for the Bombay, but just because other states does not have the same acts, they also follow the Bombay Act. So these are the this thing. But for criminal this thing, like for the penal laws are all for all the states of India, they are same. The Indian prison, the Indian penal law, and IPC, that is, and the CRPC, which is the procedure of the criminal procedure, this thing, they are all for all the states in India, they are the same, but there are some different civil laws which are different for different states. Like the state has the power to propose their own civil law for say the Property Act or some other acts. They can propose their own this thing, but generally all over the India, most of the laws are same for every state.
I see. Because some, I mean, I also talked last time with some of minority from Muslim, and some are from the lead or marginalized different group. So each state may have different, religion and different category of social system. And Bihar or those state has uh, different caste system, caste system. But many other states, those have no caste system too. So in that case, the legal system cannot be applicable, it's not fit for all, Bihar,
Yeah.
uh, Bihar system and other who has no caste. Is not fit. So that
Uh,
is
yeah. Yeah, no, I think the caste system exists in all over the states. Like there is, I don't think so. There is just one or two state does not have the caste system. I think all the states, if you see in the north, there is caste system. Even to the south, there is caste system. Uh, but even in Ladakh, so I was there in Ladakh for 1 year. But even there, I like mostly, so there is minority and majority. So minority were the Muslims in Ladakh, but there were like majority of Buddhist followers were there. But the if you see as a geography, they all look like same only, like because they belong to that geography. So their practices, their traditional practices, and their daily social practices are have combined with each other. So they have become one. So that is why maybe sometimes you cannot differentiate between who is following what religious practices. But the caste system and the different religious practices exist in each state of India. Basically the thing in India is like all the NGOs are not funded by the government. They are funded from external sources like from philanthropies or charitable trusts or there are other companies also. So in India there is a rule called CSR, that is called corporate social responsibility. For it is mandatory for every big companies who has a profitable turnover of more than 5,500 crores, I think. Like there is a threshold, like there is a threshold limit. If your company is earning that much of profit, then for that company they have to spare like 5 to 10% for the corporate social responsibilities. So they, for that 5 to 10%, so they give to the NGOs who they like to work with. So this is how funding things
Maybe
happen in India.
maybe India big company like Tata or something
Yes,
like that.
yes. We have like other companies who fund, like SBI found SBI, who's the State Bank of India. Tata was also funding one of the organization I used to work with, but not my recent organization. So
See,
it depends on which cause they want to donate to. That is also there.
I see.
That poor to rich gap is increasing day by day. And for social sector, social sector is considered to be very underpaid right now, like in India especially, because if you compare it with other countries like Africa or like other European countries, they social work or social sector or development sector is it's a prestigious sector for them because it's a work for the community, right? But in India they think that social workers are working for free for the communities and they don't have to be paid. But but we cannot do like social good with empty pockets, right? So
Right,
we also need some to sustain ourselves.
right.
So this is the bad condition in India that is very saddening. But I hope like in coming 5 to 10 years, this will improve gradually.
I see. But in case in European, the European government funded, a lot of social worker.
Yes, yes, we have like FCRA, which is like foreign investments for our NGOs. So a lot of, but for that you have to be a very big NGO. Like you have to be you should have at least 5 to 10 years work which you have done for the community to show them. Then only they will fund you. And it also has a lot of government compliances.
You said you've been to Ladakh. I had last time I talked with a professor. Ladakh is a union territory, right? They are not
Yes, yes.
under Kashmir,
No, no,
Kashmir state. So they have directly uh, connection with the central government because
yes,
union
yes, sir.
territory, right? So, and
Yeah.
you saw they are mostly Buddhist, right? Majority Buddhist. Can you say they are also related to Tibet, or how can you say they are similar to Tibet?
Yes, sir. In a lot of ways, like you will see a lot of monks from maybe from, I don't know their origin, but maybe from Tibet as well in Ladakh, because a lot of Tibet has also a Buddhist culture, and Ladakhis are also mostly
Right.
Buddhist. So, not the language, I would say, but the dressing sense and the culture, you can see a prominent similarity between these two regions. The food that they eat and the way that they dress. And even in Ladakh itself there is cultural diversity. If you go to the higher side of Ladakh, you will see a slight different culture over there than in the lower parts of of Ladakh. Like there is one Aryan Valley, which is known for the Alexander the Great who had come there, and people of that valley are very tall and very like good looking, and people from the lower lands of Ladakh are very like normal heighted and this thing. So these kind of differences you will see. It's a beautiful place. Like you should visit Ladakh once.
I see. So you also work for same issue, the criminal justice issue. Is there in Ladakh, I mean criminology and justice, and is there same, maybe it's similar or different from those in uh, Bihar or other? part of India.
So I was working in Ladakh as an academia, like not as a criminologist, because crime rates in Ladakh are almost close to 0%. Like there are no crime rates, especially like now it will be rising because of the all those ongoing protests which is happening right now. But when I was in Ladakh, they were like mostly almost zero heinous crime rates at least for my criminological issues which I handle like sexual assault and all these issues there were none. I even asked I went to the jails and everything, but jails does not have any convicts there. Like they were only people who are caught for petty crimes like theft and everything, but they were also like very very less population in the inside the jail, and I was very happy to see that we have a state like that in India. But I was working with the communities there. So I have seen that there is also this thing religious differences there, like Buddhist and Muslims. So this happens in this thing that if a Buddhist girl and a Muslim boy or vice versa, they got into a relationship and they get married, they are not they are outcasted. Then they both will be outcasted from the family, from both the families, and they will have to like go on, but they will not do heinous things or extremist things like other states in this thing in India, that they will follow them, or they will either kill the boy or either kill the girl, or like or like harass both of them. They will not do anything like that. They will just tell the couple to like go on and just don't come back and live your life on your own terms now. They will just do that. So this is a kind of, I think, the maturity I have seen in the communities as well. So they don't believe also in cultural marriage. So cultural weddings happen and cultural marriages happen in Ladakh, but there is also a thing if a boy and a girl. So for a boy and a girl to be called husband and wife, they don't have to get married in Ladakh. So this is a very cultural, this thing, new thing for me as well. Like when I went there, so if a boy and a girl has decided to to stay together from the same community, if they have decided to stay together, they will be pronounced husband and wife. And later, sometimes when their families are, maybe they have enough money or savings for them to get married, then they will arrange the marriage function. But before that, you can also like stay together and you will be called husband and wife. So there is no restrictions. So all these small things that I noticed while living within the community and working for them were these. And yeah, so my most of my work in Ladakh revolved around community issues, and like there were water scarcity. So I was working with the in the same organization which is Hayal, which is of Sonam Wangchuk School. So I was working there with the communities on their issues, like on their, so there is a livelihood issue in many villages of Ladakh, and there is water scarcity. So I was working around those issues in different departments. But yeah.
I see. I don't know. You don't see much problem in Ladakh, right? There are less problem about consent issues. I mean, they are more understandable. Can you say like that?
So it is a problem for people who are not comfortable with it. But for like in India, while talking only people, if you know me, people like if people are knowing, they are like acquaintances, not even friends, but acquaintances to each other. There is no, to be very honest, there is no personal boundary in India. So people will touch you, and even like they will just tap on the shoulder or tap on the head or like that. Like they will try to. That is the way of talking. But for a lot of people, especially for people like me, I'm not very comfortable with it. So I just tell the other person that, see, I'm not very comfortable. So you just keep your hands with yourself. But there are issues with children also. Like in India, people does not understand that children also have boundaries, like physical boundaries. And people, if you see if an adult man or a woman sees a kid, no matter, even women does that. And women, I'm not just saying that male touches are only bad touches. Women touches are also bad touches. So they don't understand that maybe their intention are not bad, but the kid may feel awkward, or the kid may have a problem with you touching with them. So personal boundary is very like questionable in India especially. So this in professional settings we have like seen a change now. Like people are very professional while talking and while working with each other. But in general, if you're with like in communities, especially like residential communities or in villages or something like that, where where people know each other, touching general touching is very common in all these spaces.
What about India culture upon the lead people? Is still they consider the leads not because I had even what the leads use drinking cup, after the lead drink water, and the other Indian will not want to use that cup and they throw away the water cup, something like that. That much serious.
Al- at a very large level, I would say. Even like if you go in villages, you will still see a very like very prominent kind of untouchability that happens there in villages. But also, I would not say that cities does not have these practices. Cities also have these practices, but in a different way. So in villages, what happens that if a Dalit family is living, so they have different areas also where the Dalits will live and where the other communities or other caste people will live. So in villages, they will be very open about it, right? Like from the Dalits will have their own well from where they will get the water and everything, and they will have their own this thing. But so they are very open about it, and it's not very a thing to be very proud of that they are open about it. What is wrong is wrong. They are still wrong in it. But in cities, what happens? They are practicing these atrocities in a very subtle ways. Like they will not tell the person directly that I don't want to drink from your cup, but they will not drink it. And it at homes also you will see that people uh, so suppose for the servants, like the house helps that come to every houses, they most of the time they belong to like Dalit communities. So people will keep their cups and glasses separate for them to use, and they will not use those cups and glasses. So these are the small things that you impart also in your child's brain. Like
I mean,
these are the practices that is happening.
health issue is different. We can do everything separately for health purpose, but in case of the lead, it's based on discrimination.
Yes, it's based on discrimination, and it's just because they belong to to that particular community.
So it
So
means you
this is
said
a very large issue.
it still exists in different ways,
Yes, yes, yes,
but
totally.
maybe not like in the past, not much, not very openly, right? But nowadays
Yes,
it still exists.
yes, yes, it still exists.
I don't know, in India, prostitution is legal or illegal.
At some states it's legal, and some states it is not legal. Like in Uttarakhand, it is not legal. But if you go to Bombay has a separate, a very large area where all the prostitution happens and all the sex workers live, and they survive there, and their workplace is that Kamathipuram is that place is named, and in Delhi, in Calcutta. So all these big cities has legalized it because it's a work, like sex work is not different from any other work, I feel. So they have like recognized it as a work only. But in some states who are very religious, for example, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh and all those very religious states, who who are called here holy states, because they basically survive on the religion that is like the religious practices that is happening here. The revenue mostly comes through the religious practices. The tourism comes for the religious practices. So all these 4 5 states, they have not legalized it yet, but it is still happening here also. Like it's not hidden from anyone that prostitution is not happening and sex workers are not existing all these states. They are existing, but in a very hidden manner and very like a subtle manner they are practicing it. But then again, if they are caught, and then they have to like bribe the policemen to get out of it, and the whole circle revolves every, I think every week is the same thing.
I mean, it can be maybe legalized prostitution can be also good in some aspect, also may not good in some cases. And if legalized, people can know them and they can usually do business and with the prostitute. But if the prostitute are not legalized, it's more complicated doing business with the prostitute, and some prostitute, bad prostitute, even though they are doing prostitute, they pretend they make exaggeration case or accusation, make other customer uh, more problem, or they make legal legal complicated things.
That I think then so the thing is that uh, behind every law there are many loopholes, and people can use against to like work the law in their favor. But here then there comes the investigation, which is a very important role which police has to play. If the investigation, so the investigation is there to fact find na, that whether the complaint which has like, even if the bogus prostitute or the prostitute or the sex worker who has put in a wrongful complaint against a client, so then the investigators have to investigate whether which facts are right and which facts are being made up. So I think there then the investigator plays a very big role in this, because in every case, in every law, not even, I'm not even saying the sex worker, even the right now in India, there are a lot of cases that is happening around dowry cases, or in POXO, like people or women are using it against the men who has not, maybe has not done anything wrong, but they are using it to acquire money from them, or to like extort them or something like that, and they are using it in their favor. And so then people are saying that these laws are wrong. These laws are not wrong, the investigation process is wrong, that which is what I feel. If I have said that this man has harassed me, you cannot blindly trust me, right? You have to investigate that where and when and how and where, like what all things he has done. You have to, the authorities have to investigate it correctly and properly, then only the justice can be made. Otherwise laws can be misused by anyone. So I think that in these this thing in India, which has a lot of diverse people living inside it and a very large population, investigation agencies and investigation institutions has to be trained, and trained again and again, with the change, with the time that is changing, and with every changing law they has to be trained. And this is not happening in India because the police and the investigating agencies, they they don't want to do the hard work, right? They just want to shut the case and just file the charge sheet and just let the court decide what is wrong and what is right. But before going to the court, it is your responsibility to make the charge sheet correctly, at least. So that is where I think the biggest gap is the investigation. It's not like people wrongfully accusing someone else, or it is happening all over India, no, all over world. But does all the other countries are also this vulnerable to wrongful accusers or wrongful this thing? No, right? But because they have like good investigating agencies, but we don't. So that is the biggest gap that I feel in India legal system and justice system. This is the biggest gap.
I see. So you said important of investigator,
Yes.
So the investigation, corruption.
I think more than 50, I think around 70% of the investigations are being corrupted right now, and they just need whoever whichever party will give them the hefty amount of money, they will put the case towards them, and like the case will
Uh,
lead towards them on the charge sheet, on the papers before going to the court. But then the court will also like work based on the evidences that has been put forward, right? So it the this from this point forward, it all leads to in towards a single code. So it's not like that is stagnant in between, and like can go in either of the courts. But if I have paid the hefty amount of money or bribed the police station police officer or investigating officer, he will obviously lean towards me, and he will obviously like save my case better rather than the others, even if the other person has accused me of something. So this kind of corruption is a lot happening in India.
so it's
That is why
very,
most of the people who are behind the jails are people who cannot who does not have money and who are from a certain marginalized background, because they don't have the money to bribe the officers.
it's very high, corruption among investigation in India. You expect that about
Yes,
70%. It's almost everybody a corrupt investigator, almost.
yes, yes,
So it's very
yes, yes,
high investigation. And once they get money, they have a kind of bribe money, then they will not do any fair investigation, and that as you point out, and that is very high uh, investigation corruption, investigator corruption in India, and that is a very uh, risky. And the what about is there any punishment for the lady who are exaggerating the case?
if it turns out to be like suppose they have been in a relationship, or they have uh she was not a sex worker, or she was not this thing, or even if she was a sex worker and she has consentfully uh been in a physical relationship with this man, but in court she has said that wrongfully said that this man has does not did not have my consent, and the court finds out that the woman is lying. Then the case will be on against her because she has tried to defame the man. So the case will be on her, and she will get the this thing. She has to compensate for it, and she might go jail for it also, because defamation is a very big thing, and defamation also has this thing, like it depends on from case to case, right? It does not have to be a very heavy. If I'm accusing someone of sexual harassment wrongfully, then that is a big thing, right? It's not a very small thing. If I'm so the
Defamation.
case will have to be like the punishment will have to be around that only. If I have accused someone wrongfully of theft, but he has not like committed the theft, then the defamation, this thing will be around the theft. So it depends on case to case, but in this case she will be getting the punishment or for defamation, for defaming the other person.
Right, many kind of consent. How can you consider how many kind of consent are legally acceptable?
Okay, so legally there is legal there is written and there is verbal consent. Either the girl has to verbally tell you or something like that, but doesn't happen in a lot of cases, right? But because like in when so it happens only in very tricky cases where the guy has tried to molest her, or has done something wrongfully, then only this thing of consent comes. That in what way did you think, like, technicalities would come in a case, that how did she consent?
What about text
Other
message?
consents,
Like the mobile
yeah,
text
yeah,
text
that will come
message
in, that
and
will come under written this thing.
text message,
Any communic
text
Yeah.
message or symbol or any emotion, emoticon or any mobile text message, social media text
Yes,
message
it
come
will
out.
come under the written. Yes, yes. It will come under the written consent. All the electronic communications, whatever time it will come under the consent.
So thank you very much, Divya, for your time today.
Thank you so much, sir. Nice talking to you.